Hey everybody, we are walking right now on the path that leads to the site of where Flight 93 was put down. I say put down because I feel like to call it a crash is
Crash insinuates an accident.
Thank you, exactly. Yeah, this was no accident. So it's so peaceful and beautiful here. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see this beautiful walk through, is this central Pennsylvania? No, not really. It's still western Pennsylvania. And I am a western Pennsylvania girl.
Southwestern PA.
That's right. And, oh yeah, this is Dr. Bob Norman.
Hi, everyone.
And we've got, of course, super fan Darla Klingensmith with us. Back again.
Can't get rid of me easily.
I don't think we'll ever get rid of you, Darla. You are actually a very cherished part of the Beach Report. And
Thank
you made it very apparent to me that you thought the show was super special and it meant a lot to you. So here you are. And let's see what happens. You never know. Never know what you're going to see on the Beach Report, right? Yeah, Bob's laughing because he's seen a lot of crazy stuff.
The Beach Report from the mountains.
Yeah, from the mountains, exactly. He's laughing for that too. Yes, there's no beach here, but you can hear us crunching on gravel. Pretend that it's sand. Anyway, where's my audience? Do I even have it on? I don't see anybody coming on yet. But for you replay people, I have to tell you that Mary, oh wait, maybe I just can't see. Nope, still no audience.
Oh.
That's all right. You okay?
Yeah, I got stones in my
Got stones in the shoes. Yeah, you know what? If you come out to this memorial, get ready. You're gonna walk a lot. He's got his shoes on. He's ready.
I'm ready.
He's got it. Then again, he lives here. I don't know what Darla's excuse is, but my excuse is that I'm a Florida girl. Well, hello, Malaysia. So we are here at the Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. I gotta put my sunglasses on because it is very bright here. And you know that saying the future is so bright, I gotta wear shades? That's how I'm feeling right now. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we just had like a miracle happen. That so when you set an intention and then you pay attention to your intention becoming reality, you can do whatever you want.
And you realize that instead of being oblivious to it, that you're actually making things happen by people say ask, you put it out to the universe. I say put it out to God.
Yeah.
And things happen.
Right.
But if you don't pay attention to it, you just walk on through life, wandering through, never realizing how many things happen on purpose.
Yes. I don't really believe in coincidences. Listen, Darla. I don't believe in coincidences because I do think that every single thing in my life happens for a reason, good or bad. And it is never for me to decide if it's good or bad. Even things that seem horrible could turn out to be the best thing that could ever happen to you.
Well, I have a saying regarding that.
Yeah?
That life can only be understood backwards, but it has to be lived forwards.
I like that.
So often things happen, we have no idea why, because we don't know what God's plan is. But down the road, you'll look back and realize why it happened.
That's so true.
That's where faith comes in.
And that's where faith comes in. Exactly. And so those of you who have been following me for many years now, you know that this girl walks in faith. And if it never before have I walked in faith the way that I have been walking for the past few years since my husband died. And today, I learned a lot about myself and about my ability to set my intentions and then make them come true. So one of the most important things that I wanted to do on this trip up north from my regular stomping grounds of South Florida was to come to the Flight 93 Memorial and sell my book here. Hi, Brian. I've sold my book here before. I gotta take this hat off or it's gonna fly off. Anyway, bad hair, sorry. Don't care. Yes, please hold. I'm training Darla. She's doing a great job. Anyway, yes, Jesus loves you too, Eli. Namaste, Herschel or Hashad. Anyway, so I wanted to sell my book about the way 9/11 changed our society here at the Flight 93 Memorial because I've done it before. In fact, when this memorial first opened exactly 10 years ago, well, September 10th, 10 years ago, that is the same day that I published my first book about 9/11 and called Like It Was Yesterday, A Journalist's Files Since 9/11. And I sold my book here at the memorial because I'm a Pittsburgh girl and I was writing for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette at the time. And it was great. And then something happened and I was not able to sell my book here anymore because I did a bad thing. I held a Zoom class without getting approval. And it's like I got in trouble and they said, you can't sell your book here anymore. And I was like, what? And I was so sad. And I didn't really do anything about it. Oh, lots of love back to India there, Harshad. I'm sorry, I can't say your name. Anyway, I was pretty broken up about it for a while. But you know, I just kept plugging away and lots of people love my book. I've sold more than 1,000 copies since 2001, and that might not sound, I'm sorry, since 2015. And that may not sound like a lot to a big publishing house, but for little old me, it was pretty cool. And I've been selling that book ever since I published it. Anyway, fast forward to today. And I'm meeting Dr. Bob here. Like, I'm meeting him in the flesh for the first time, but we've been really good friends for the past 10 years. I mean, we've been through a lot, haven't we?
Absolutely.
And I've learned a lot from you. And he's very spiritual man, but he's got this like knowledge and this wisdom from coming from a tough life. I mean, and then tough is kind of the operative word, isn't it?
I
Can
think
you
so.
tell them your history quickly?
I served in the United States Army, and then I retired from the Department of Corrections, where I was one of the commanders of a supermax prison.
That blows me away that you were the commander of a Superman. Like, he is so kind and peaceful. It's kind of hard to believe that this guy was like, had ruthless criminals around him all the time.
I was in death row when I was on death row when 9/11 happened.
Tell us about that.
I remember where I was standing. I was standing up in the control area of one of the blocks talking to one of my officers when the call came in. And everything just went cold, and we shut the whole place down, locked everything down, because you had a lot of Muslims in the prison. A lot of people convert to Islam. A lot of inmates do. And so we didn't know what was going on, but I just had a feeling that we knew it was an attack, and we just knew that, having been in the Army, all of us had been in the military, and we just knew life had just changed. It was just it's just an unbelievable moment when you realize that you don't know what's going to go on.
Well, what did the prisoners do?
We locked them down. We locked everything down. Nobody left the cell. Nobody went anywhere because we didn't want to take chances. Because
Just didn't know.
You have a lot of inmates will convert to Islam
in prison, right?
While in prison to try and get over.
Or join gangs too, right?
Well, to be honest
like
with you,
prison's the worst place.
In prison, Islam is kind of like a gang.
Oh, it is like a gang. Wow. That must have been terrifying for you, actually.
Well, you don't know. Like I said, we locked everything down. The general population area was locked down because we had to figure. It's unprecedented.
Right.
What do you do? So you have to give yourself some time to figure out what to do and what's going to happen, and then slowly get back to normal. But it was just an insane time.
How long did it take to get back to normal? When did you let them out?
Trying to think back, I remember the minute I got the call, like it just happened, but the rest of the stuff was kind of a blur. But it was probably a couple of week or two later, when we finally started to ease back into normal operations. As we got more information, as time was going on, we got more information about what happened, what our response was going to be, because a lot of the officers as well were still in the National Guard and the Army Reserves as well. So, you had people that were deployed. It was just, it was chaos.
Yeah.
controlled chaos.
Controlled chaos, of course. Was there any repercussion in the prison from 9/11 that you noticed?
No, we didn't really notice anything, and I think it's because of the fast action that we took, getting everything locked down. The goal in any facility security is first to avoid a problem.
Yeah.
But then if you have a problem or you think there might be one, is to isolate it and contain it.
Wow.
So when you can isolate it and contain it, you can control it. So that's what we did.
Wow. That's really interesting perspective on 9/11. You don't hear that very often. I was taking my children, well, my daughter was already at school and I was about to take my son to preschool that day. And one of my friends called me and I ran up to look at, she said, go turn the TV on. And I did. And of course, that's when I saw the second plane go into the buildings. And my husband at the time, my ex-husband, was getting ready for work himself. And it was a very confusing time for us. But I knew one thing, and that was that my brother was there. Not in the World Trade Center, but in a building that was really close by. So, of course, my entire world shifted. And not just my brother. I mean, I used to live in New York City, and my brother was my roommate for a long time. So that was as if, you know, my people were being attacked. And then if that wasn't bad enough, suddenly we learned that an airplane was flying. Did you hear about the planes above? Is that when you got I mean, because you were in this area, right? You lived here.
Well, I live about an hour away.
An hour away. I mean, same thing. Me too.
Oh,
it's the same thing.
Very close.
So close enough, spitting distance.
Close enough to be very, very odd. Very just eerie to think something could happen. You know, we live out in the country. Nothing ever happens in the country. And then all of a sudden, and now we look around and an hour away from my house.
You are world news.
World news everywhere. My son and I actually came up to the crash site about a week afterwards. The only thing here was some caution tape and debris and a crash site. And there was just a gentle, eerie breeze blowing. And it's the same gentle, eerie breeze that's blowing right now. As
Thank
we stood
you.
up on the memorial.
I was here then too. I also felt it very important to put my family in the car and come and pay my respects.
Yeah, just to see.
Because I could.
Yeah, what happened.
Just because I could. And I had just moved here from Switzerland the year before, so it was also important to me to share the grief and shock of my country in a place where it really had just happened. I felt like this was my backyard.
It was.
You know, and it was. And my friends and family throughout the world, but especially in Switzerland, were horrified. And they kept hearing Pittsburgh was hit. Throughout the world, they didn't say outside of Pittsburgh or Shanksville. They said Pittsburgh.
Right.
And they were scaring a lot of people who were afraid for Pittsburgh. And it's true, those planes flew above our heads.
They flew right over us.
Right over us, and they could have easily gone into the U.S. Steel building. And then they went over to Cleveland. And they could have easily gone into any building, big skyscraper in Cleveland. There are plenty.
But instead, Washington, they ended up here.
They ended up here in this desolate field, and there's a mine underneath here, and there was no people that they could hurt, and no buildings that they could destroy. There was even a little house right outside of it, right?
Yeah.
And not one drop of blood was found.
Not outside the plane.
At the crash site. It was a very strange and eerie thing that, again, we don't want to call it a crash because, again, that denotes an accident. This was no accident. And we were horrified. And we were also humbled.
And in shock.
And in shock. And also feeling the magnitude of love for each other, for the gratefulness of living in this country and being an American. And there was a flag on everybody's door. And everybody was singing the national anthem at night. We would literally hold hands in the neighborhood and sing Star Spangled Banner or God Bless America, whatever we could. We would go to our places of worship Bob would go to church, and I went to my synagogue, and everybody was just unified
Absolutely unified.
until they weren't. And
Until
here we
enough
are.
time passed
Yeah.
when they could use division to take back power and divide us amongst each other. Again, when enough time had passed, where people forgot the feelings and what had
Yes.
happened.
Yeah. People forget, and then apathy sets in. And then everybody thinks life's going back to normal, but it never went back to normal for me. And that's another thing that I started to talk about, and then I got a little bit off kilter because I had to tell you Dr. Bob's story. Anyway, meeting Dr. Bob here, and we got Darla here too. And the minute we pulled up at this memorial and getting out of the car and getting ready to go in, and the superintendent of this memorial walks up to us as if
Like he was meeting
we
us
had
there.
an appointment. Please tell them I can't do it.
Okay. So we're standing outside Jill's car getting together, and up walk two gentlemen. One's the superintendent. He introduced himself as the superintendent of the memorial, and the other's his chief maintenance guy.
As if we were meeting him.
They
on
walked
purpose.
over and introduced themselves like we had an appointment to meet them, and we had just talked about divine intervention before and how nothing happens by accident and things happen according to plan. And you have to, once you realize that and once you experience it and you're not oblivious to life, once you realize that this is happening as a result of what I asked for earlier,
Yeah.
everything changes in your life. You start to look at everything differently. You start to notice things.
Exactly. So it was pretty surprising to me that the superintendent, who I actually had met before and I knew, would just walk up to us and introduce himself as if we had a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was right on time, and so was he. And without thinking, I pulled out a book from my car, and I said, "Oh, I have a book for you. I would like to give this to you." And he was like, "Wow." And he says to me, "You should have this in the memorial."
Yeah, he did.
And I said, "Well, I used to, but they didn't, they took away that privilege because I made a mistake one day." And we don't need to talk about, the little mistake that I made. I guarantee it wasn't a big mistake. And I always have a heart for doing the right thing. And I just didn't get a permit. And you know how bureaucracy can be. Anyhow, so I told Stephen this, and immediately he said to me, "Well, you take my card and you go in there and you tell them Stephen said this book should be in the bookstore."
He did.
And I was like, "Okay." So I walked in with a new kind of confidence that I did not have before I got here.
No.
And I walked right up to them and I told them who I was. And what was the response, Bob? You tell them.
Well, the guy behind the counter remembered the book being in the counter.
He remembered
in
it
the store.
exactly.
He remembered it being in there about 10 years ago, he said it was.
Yep. He
So
knew it
He
exactly.
provided all the information that Jill needed to get things back in motion, to get the book back into the gift shop. And connections were made, and Steve really paid off having come out and met us.
Absolutely.
Again, not by accident.
And no, and immediately I said, "Well, we met Stephen out there, and he told me to come in, and he looks real." The guy looks like, "What?" He goes,
Yeah.
"Stephen never leaves his office."
Yeah, he did. He
Right?
said that, right?
He's like, "That's really weird that you would meet him in the parking lot because he never leaves his office." So what did that tell us?
Again, it was fate. It was meant to be.
It was divine intervention.
Divine intervention, for sure.
So if you come to the Flight 93 Memorial in the next few months, God willing, my book will be in the bookstore. And this, by the way, is the only bookstore I will ever sell my book in. I do not want to sell it, through Amazon, even though, yeah, you can go on Amazon and you can pick it up for a pretty cheap price because it's going to be a used book. I will have signed it, and you never know what you're going to get from Amazon. So if you want to buy my book there, you're you're undercutting me, and that's fine. Do what you need to do. I'd rather you have the book than not have it. However, I am working on my website in order to sell the books myself, and not just my book, but Dr. Bob's writing a book too that I will be publishing, and I am so excited about that. Tell them what your book's about.
Well, the basis of the book is to be a self-help type book for people, honestly, like me, a type A alpha male type who don't normally ask for help. And it's going to be compiled of experiences and how I got through things, what tools I use to get through things, and to redesign my life. Actually, you've had to do that a couple of times.
Yeah,
We
Me
all
too.
have had to reinvent ourselves a few times.
same.
So the idea is for it to be a playbook for the person like me who won't normally ask for help. That they can read it and use the tools in the book to make their life what they want it to be. Living by design rather than default.
Exactly. Wouldn't you like to design your own life? Wouldn't you like to take control of what fate hands you and realize that it's not really fate? It's you setting your intention to do what you want and need to do. And that's exactly what I've been doing ever since I lost my husband 3 years ago to prostate cancer, the day after Hurricane Ian, and where he saved my life. I always have to add that. Ray saved my life just by dying in a hospice during one of the worst hurricanes Florida's ever seen. And the hospice was a shelter. So here I am back at the Flight 93 Memorial, and honoring the lives of people who were also heroes by default, kind of like Ray. You know, you become a hero by default when you save lives simply because you are there at the right time doing
And you do the right thing.
doing the right thing, even if you don't know you're doing the right thing. And that's also a lesson, because God has plans for you, good or bad. You don't really know what they are. So sometimes you think something's horrible that's happened, and then you find out that actually it couldn't happen any other way.
It had to happen that way to put you in the place you needed to be.
So what's the lesson in that? Don't look at things with judgment, and try not to expect anything. Expect what you want to expect, in other words. And then I don't mean like, you don't always know what's best, but I think if you set a higher intention, like me thinking, I'm going to come up here to Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh area where I used to live, and I'm going to do this story about Butler, and then I'm going to go to Flight 93, and I'm going to get my books back in there. And then my next intention is to go to the Jersey Shore and plug my new book there. So I have all these plans, and I'll be back here actually at the end of August and September. I'll be here at the memorial on the 11th, 100%. And you know, I like have been making mountains move.
And now don't you have more confidence about your trip to Jersey after this incident?
So much. So like I don't feel like I can lose at this point.
You have to pay attention to what's going on around you and understand why things are happening. And you may not even understand why it's happening at the time. You probably won't.
Right.
But later on, you'll look back just like we're doing right now. We're looking back to about an hour and a half or two ago.
Yeah.
And going, so that's why he walked out the parking lot.
Yeah. I mean, we knew while it was happening, we were letting it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was natural. It was like I had a meeting with him. But when he left and then we went in, and I knew I had to go in and talk to the guy that orders the books, you know, I was nervous, but I was also confident because he told me, you'll get your book back in here, Jill, don't worry. Like he was so sure about it.
He was.
And he was right. So if you keep, Drax says, if you keep an open mind one day, you will know your destiny. And yes, you do have to have an open mind, and you do have to be observant to everything around you, because you never know who is around you and what's going on. Okay, we just got to this area is part of the memorial. You can see right there in the distance, the memorial is right there. Drac, you've got a lot of good stuff you're saying. Yeah, live our lives to the fullest every day. Destiny is a funny thing. You never know where you're going to go. That's right. Do what we have to do what we want to do. Oh, that's
I
good.
like that.
I really like that too. Thank you, Drac. Thank
You
you.
also have to walk in faith.
And walk in
You have to
faith.
know
Yeah.
that things happen for a reason, although you're not going to know the reason.
You don't always know the reason. There's our flag.
There she is.
Look at this area. Can you imagine just how peaceful and quiet and beautiful it was that day until an explosion rocked everyone's world? And I know that it did because I interviewed people who were here at the time and who lived in this area. I've been covering this story not just for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, but for my country. Because this is my country and I love it so much and I only want the best for it. And I've seen a lot of crazy things happen in the past 10 years. I would kind of like to listen to what he's saying over here.
I need to head back here shortly.
Okay. We'll take off whenever you need to,
Okay.
Bob.
Is there another way to go up around, or is it just back? that way?
I think it is just back that way. Like it's very big here.
Very
You're gonna have to kind of high
I'll
foot it.
hustle up.
Yeah, you're gonna get your exercise.
I will.
Get your steps in, Dr.
I'll
Bob.
get my workout in.
I know you can handle it. You look like you're pretty fit, even though you are older than I am.
Oh, way older than you, both of
Oh
you.
yeah, big 2 years he's got on us. Look at him,
I've
old
got
man.
8 inches.
Yeah,
and 2
8
years
inches
on
in
you.
2 years. Well, yeah. Oh, thank you, Gracie. Thank
Great
you.
to see everyone.
Yeah. So this guy thinks I'm harassing the police. You know what? I got the police right behind me. So do you
We
feel,
got this.
Do
We're
you
good.
feel harassed?
We're good.
All right. Thank you so
All right.
much, Bob. It was
was
so
great
nice
to meet you in person.
Yeah, for real.
Thank you for
Yeah.
for including me.
And I hope to see you on September 11th out
Okay.
here. Okay.
Let's make it happen.
Let's do that again. All right.
Darla?
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I've got my tissue because it's very, very hot. I think this Charlie guy's a little confused and needs to go bye-bye. Hey, Darla, I need you to mod. Okay, this guy's doing a speech. Let's listen.
She was all excited when she boarded the plane. She was going to meet Mickey Mouse that day. What these characters did, I'll use a quote by Shakespeare. Hell is empty because the devils are here. Hell is empty because there were 19 devils that day, and what they did was wrong. There's good in the world. There's good in the world. There's more good than bad. So, I will end with the words of Fred Rogers. All of you from Pennsylvania, right? Fred Rogers, sweetest guy. I was just in Hershey, Chocolate World, sweeter than Hershey. Fred Rogers. He said, do these 3 things. You do these 3 things. That's what I teach you kids. Do these 3 things. Remember these 3 things. You will be one of the good guys. You will live a good life. Number 1, Fred Rogers said, be kind. Is that so hard to do? Be kind. If everyone were kind, wouldn't be war, wouldn't be any of this, wouldn't be killing, wouldn't be murdering, wouldn't be robbing things. Number 2, you guys are pretty smart with the test after this. I expect you to remember all 3. Number 1 is be kind. Number 2, be kind. So guess what number 3 is?
Be kind.
Be kind. God bless you guys. Thank you. I'm here till 3. If anyone has questions, and I'm here another hour, so if anyone wants to talk. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Since you're available. I'm doing a live YouTube show about the memorial, and I missed most of your speech. I'm sorry because it sounded really great.
Well, thank you.
But what would you like to tell the world about the memorial? This is worldwide. Everybody.
Well, I would tell them to come here to remember the day, what happened. I teach not to hate. I mean, there are villains in the world, all over the world. It's not one particular group. It's not Muslims. It's not people from the Middle East. We have villains in this country. Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols. Americans killed Americans, had no remorse. So the world is filled with good people. We don't hate. We remember the heroism that happened here. I mean, even though they died here, they fought, they saved lives by fighting the terrorists. The plane crashed here. lives were saved in Washington, D.C. No one that's living today will even know that they were alive today because of what they did, because you don't know. Were they after the Capitol or after the White House? So be thankful. Be thankful there's good in the world. And like I say, tomorrow's promised to no one, so live a good life. I mean, we just don't know when our time is up. So be one of the good guys in the world. Do something good. Show kindness, like you said with Fred Rogers. Be kind, be kind, be kind. And if everyone were kind in the world, things like this, wars like we have in Ukraine and Russia and Gaza and Israel and Iran and all these places would not exist if we all were kind. So.
You're so right about this. You guys, this is Gregory Zaborowski. How many years have you been working here at the memorial?
I've been here since 2016. I do all the education programs. So I've been here X amount of years, was that 9 years? And I've done 800 field trips here for 65,000 kids. And to my friends in Japan, konnichiwa, ohayou gozaimasu, watashi no namae wa Gregory desu, yokoso. We had Toshio Kuge on this plane. We had 56 countries of the world that lost citizens that day. 91 countries were in the World Trade Centers. So 56 countries of the world, that's including the United States, lost citizens. So this is an attack. This terrorist act was against the world. All countries, all nationalities, all religious groups. This was wrong. This is wrong.
Yep. Well, what is your greatest challenge in teaching people about the memorial and about 9/11?
Well, we are the only park in the national park system where we rangers tell the story of a mass murder. I mean, we're the only park that.
A national park, it's kind of
It's
weird,
a
isn't it?
mass
It's not
murder.
normal.
So the rangers
Yeah.
here, we talk about a mass murder, and as I teach the school kids, it's not an accident, and we're not at war, so these aren't casualties of war. These people were all murdered. So we rangers are tasked, and because it's so contemporary, the story, that we get visitors here all the time. You know, I tell the kids to be respectful. You never know who's sitting in the audience.
Right.
You never know who walks through the door that they lost a loved one and murdered. I mean, we all lose people in life. you
Yeah.
know, with cancer
Yes.
and accidents. But I personally, and I hope none of you out there listening ever lose someone that was murdered. You just don't recover from that. And I know that from a fact from all the people that come here, that their loved ones were murdered. So just be kind. My message, be kind, be kind, be kind.
Thank you. Do you find yourself having to comfort people at times?
All the time. We show empathy here.
I'll bet.
Empathy. That's one of the things we do.
This is such a sad place.
It is a sad place. So,
But thank you so
Hey,
much.
you're welcome.
I need a little comfort from you too.
yeah, thank you. Well, that's what we do
Thank
here.
you.
You got to be strong for the people that come here.
That's true.
I mean, and if you can't work here doing what we do, you have to go somewhere else. I had a friend who was here and he searched for another job and left because it just gets really hard.
I'm sure it's a lot. It's a
very-
lot.
yeah.
Well, I thank you for what you're doing, and you're really good at it too.
Thank you.
So
That's
I
sweet of
think
you.
I think you're really providing an important service, and just that you're talking to people here on this show, because most people will never get to see this memorial. It really is kind of in the wilds of Pennsylvania. It's not an easy place to get to.
Well, go to our webpage. You know, if you look up Flight 93, we got little videos that we play on the website, and
you can be part of it that way.
Yeah, you can. You
don't have to come
No,
here.
you can watch a lot of that, but maybe someday you'll come here and visit us, and hopefully you will.
So I've seen all of the memorials that exist. That New York City, the big one. I've seen little ones in New York City too. I've been to Washington D.C. And I have to say, this is the most comprehensive memorial that exists for 9/11. It really gives you a big picture of what happened that day.
Oh yeah, it's peaceful here.
It is.
It's nice.
It is.
Well,
it's
thank you
amazing.
for talking. to
No,
me,
thank you.
and
Thank you so
everyone out
much.
there, live a good life. Be kind. Yeah. Thank you.
Be kind. Be kind.
Be kind. As Fred Rogers said.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank
Gregory.
you. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you guys. Well, that was amazing. We're gonna walk over to a very, it's very sunny and hot out here. Very special part of the memorial, and we hope it doesn't rain on us, but I don't think that will happen. But there are times where there are big gatherings here. Every single 9/11 memorial that takes place here. This area has so many people in it, and the president often shows up. You never know if a president will show up at this memorial, and if President Trump will be here this year. But they told me that if he does come, they find out like a week before. So thank you, Donna. I saw people asking, where are we? Well, we're at the Flight 93 Memorial. And that's it, all the way up there. We walked a long way to get down here because this is actually where the plane was put down. And I'll show you what's known as sacred ground. And nobody gets to go there except the families of the victims of Flight 93. And I was honored to be able to go there with the mother of the youngest woman on the plane. And her name was Diora Bodley. And I've been able to meet her sister and her mom. And her mom once took me to sacred ground. It was amazing. She explained exactly how the plane kind of fell to the ground and opened up. It was like, I can't explain it. It's a while ago, but it was an amazing story that she told, and she told it with so much grace and quiet and dignity. And I'm going to show you the exact spot where that plane was put down. It was right over here. There was a house here, but it's gone, and there's also a mine underneath. Okay, see that rock? That is it. That is sacred ground right there. You can see there are things on that rock. And those things are things that the family members put there to remember their loved ones. And that's exactly where it happened. In this big field, far away from buildings and people. And the only people who were killed were the people on the airplane. And not anybody else. And the story goes that those people on that airplane knew that they had a choice to put the plane down before it got to a big city, even though it had just flown over two big cities, Pittsburgh and Cleveland. And then it got over this quiet, remote Pennsylvania farmland. And that's where they say that, well, that's there's recordings of, Todd Beamer yelling, "Let's roll," and that they were heroes that day. Like realizing that if they didn't end their own lives, that they might hurt other people. And there it is. A little closer to sacred ground. That's it right there. Well, over here to my right is the memorial itself in the distance. And the reason that they built that memorial right there is because that is the exact trajectory of the plane as it kind of careened over this little hill and then landed, crashed, sunk right here. So the memorial itself has an airplane like a runway kind of situation. I don't know if you can call it that. It's interesting. It's very eerie and beautiful, and also tragic at the same time. People come here and you can sit and you can reflect on what happened. You're able to leave things that are important to you. These little flowers are fresh. Look, Fort Lauderdale, the birthplace of the beach report. That's interesting. Wow, huh, Darla? That's crazy. Signs all around me. Okay, so we're coming to another area, and this wall is a memorial wall. It's almost like, you know, when you go to a cemetery and there are headstones. Well, this is the headstone for, I believe, 42 people who lost their lives that day. I know, it looks like it's gonna storm on us soon. Before we get there, we'll learn a little bit about it. This is called the Wall of Names and the Boulder. Again, that's the boulder out there. See? Near the base of the Hemlock Grove sits a 17-ton piece of sandstone. This visual reference for the Flight 93 crash site was relocated from south of the Tower of Voices. And that's what it looked like right after it was relocated. Assembled from hemlock beams, the ceremonial gate features 40 cut angles. Beyond the gate, the final piece of granite acknowledges where Flight 93 crashed. I've been to that gate. That's the gate that yours mom opened. We're gonna go see the Wall of Names, which distinguishes each passenger and crew member. 40 individual marble panels engraved with their names, 40. The Wall of Names appears unified from a distance, but this is symbolism which represents the passengers and crew members coming together on September 11th. Not just to, I mean, they couldn't save themselves, but to save strangers, people in a city they thought they were destined for. They didn't, nobody even knows if they were going to the White House or gonna go hit the Capitol or where that plane was actually headed. But we can all be very grateful that it didn't hit Pittsburgh, the USX Tower, and it didn't hit any of the buildings in Cleveland, but that it was able to come here and not hurt anybody. Just the people on the plane. Hey, Nick. I see some comments on here. I don't know what you're talking about. Falling for what? People these days aren't like they were on September 11th. Those of you who are too young to remember, maybe you were a child or you weren't even born yet. This was a time for this country to come together. And this right here is the gate that leads to the boulder. Sacred ground. So it's important to me right now to honor each and every person who is on this flight, as I do every time I come here. Sorry, I'm getting a little choked up. There's flowers at the base of every headstone. I call these headstones. I know it's a wall, but I call them headstones. Christian Adams. Flight attendant Lorraine Bay. Of course, we all know Todd Beamer, who gave the command of Let's Roll. Alan Anthony Bevan. Mark Bingham. He made a phone call to his mom, if you remember. Deora Frances Bodley, the youngest woman on the plane. I feel like this girl is like my kindred soul. I've had so many amazing experiences because of Diora. And even in a way with Diora. I've met her mom, her sister, and even one of her best friends. Rest in peace, Diora. And then we've got Flight Attendant Sandy Waugh Bradshaw, Marion Britton, Thomas Burnett Jr., William Joseph Cashman. You're welcome, Jana. Georgine Rose Corrigan, Patricia Cushing, Captain Jason Dahl, Joseph DeLuca, Patrick Joseph Driscoll, Edward Porter Felt, Jane Folger, Colleen Frazier, Andrew Sonny Garcia, Jeremy Glick, Kristen Osterholm White Gold, Lauren Catuzzi, Grand Colas, and she had a baby in her belly. So her baby unborn child is also noted there. Wanda Anita Green was another flight attendant. Donald Freeman Green, Linda Gronlund, Richard Guadagno, First Officer Leroy Homer, Toshia Kuchin. Did you hear that guy speaking perfect Japanese in honor of Toshia? Cece Ross Lyles, flight attendant. I actually met her friends when I was here the first year that it opened. Oh, it was amazing. Hilda Marson, Waleska Martinez, Nicole Carol Miller, Louis Nackey, Donald Arthur Peterson, Jean Hoadley Peterson, Mark David Rothenberg, Christine Ann Snyder, John Tagliani, Honor Elizabeth Waino, and Deborah Jacobs Welsh, who was a flight attendant. This is in alphabetical order, of course. Look at all the flowers in front of each name. So I was wrong about the time I went to Sacred Ground with Diora's mom. I remember now. We went over here where it says authorized personnel only. That's where the families go to pay their respects. There's a big gate over there. You can see it from up there, but you can't see it from here. And that's where Diora's mom, Deborah, took me. And we were with a family too. It was an amazing experience. Peaceful, beautiful. With these 40 people. These 40 people should still be with us. It just breaks my heart. You know? Sorry, I'm having a bad hair day. A lot of people are wondering if this is the UK. Does this look like the UK? Maybe it does. This is Western Pennsylvania. Flight 93 Memorial, United States of America. And I am here to honor these 40 people who saved countless lives, gave their own. And like we heard before, these people weren't even all Americans. They were from countries all over the world. You know, I noticed this before, but I just have to see that Louis Nackie's got a Superman in front of him. That kind of says it all too, doesn't it? Superman. Super people. Angels. Heroes. All right, well, this concludes my tour of the walk from the Flight 93 Memorial right there. Look all the way around this beautiful Pennsylvania field. It's a long walk. Hey, Darla. It's a long walk, but it's worth it. If you do have a chance to come here, I hope you'll take it. It's a very special place. And it's very important that every young person learn from what happened here. You are welcome, Ian. I'm glad to see you, my friend. So please share this video. Let people know that this is a place that you can come and you can mourn in private with friends. Think about not just 9/11, but everything we've been going through in the past decade, in the past 2 decades, almost 25 years, 24 years since it happened. Hard to believe how time flies and how people forget. But as I write in every one of my books that I sign, please never forget 9/11. I'm going to say ciao for now. And I'll see you guys on the next beach report. I'm headed towards Philadelphia to check out the Jersey Shore and do a real beach report with the beach. All right, you guys. I want to let you say it.
Bye, guys. Ciao for now. Arrivederci.